meet the Lizards, who are hungry for victory with Major League Lacrosse on ESPN+. It is so nice to see you again. Along with Quinn Kesnick, I'm Joe Bernardati. Q, these two teams won't pull any punches. They know each other so very well. Every Major League Lacrosse history lesson has to begin with them.
These are bedrock franchises that go back to the year 2001 when this league was established. 19 years later, they're still standing tall. Chesapeake has won 5 championships. The Lizards have won 3. Both teams have housed some of the greatest players in lacrosse history and some of the best teams that this league has ever seen.
The Bayhawks of today come equipped with a very volatile offense that features Lyle Thompson on attack.
Yeah, I love this attack group, led by the 2-time Tewaaraton winning attackman out of Albany, Lyle Thompson, from the Iroquois Nation. There's nothing he can't do on the lacrosse field, whether it's riding and hustling, dodging, passing, creating eye-popping goals that get the fans out of their feet. Lyle Thompson is one of the best players to grace a lacrosse field in the last decade. He got off to a sensational start in week 1 as the Bayhawks took down the Dallas Rattlers in the Star in Frisco, Texas.
Having lost their first 2 games of this young season, Rob Pennell and the Lizards, they're not pushing the panic button yet.
Well, they're 0-2, and this is a critical game for them. I liked what I saw from Rob up in Quincy, Mass, in front of 5,000 fans on that first Saturday. He went to the goal effectively, but chemistry with his mates, with some of his new teammates, has been slow to evolve.
Chesapeake comes to town with a 1-0 mark. They were idle last week. Dave Cottle is the man pushing the buttons once more for these Bayhawks. B.J. O'Hara is his counterpart on the New York sideline. The Lizards coming in with a mark of 0-2. You can see that B.J. is well traveled through Major League Lacrosse circles and highly decorated with those 4 titles. In the nets for the Bayhawks, Nico Amato gets the call once again. This is a fine netminder in his 6th Major League Lacrosse season. Wants to pick up on that save percentage number. And at the opposite end, Austin Kaut gets to go for New York, trying to pick up his first win along with his mates as the Lizards are dressed in black. This time around at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra. It's Major League Lacrosse on ESPN+. The officials are Doug Donovan, Steve Miller, Tim McCaffrey, and Scott Rayburn. At the face-off, Pisculgian for New York and Massa for the Bayhawks in white. These two storied franchises meeting once more for the 37th all-time in the regular season. Possession awarded to New York will get things going. Mike Unterstein, defensive midfielder for Matthews. Matthews, Ray, and Rob Pennell, the starting attack for New York. No Dylan Malloy, unavailable for the Lizards this time around. Kevin Crowley, the 30-year-old from beautiful British Columbia, Canada, has the ball marked on the outside by the long stick midfielder C.J. Costabile. The initial offensive set of the game, Crowley gets to go. Looking inside for Pennell, just outside that 2-point arc in red on the field, some 16 yards from the cage in Major League Lacrosse. Pennell plays a little 2-man game, spins back and fires, and Amato stabs that in cage for the Bayhawks. Transition time for Isaiah Davis-Allen, former All-American short stick defensive midfielder with the Maryland Terrapins.
New York's got too many on defense. Flag down.
Extra man soon to come for the guys in white. Steele Stanwyck, who picked up a 5-assist performance in the Bayhawks opener, a win against Dallas. Thompson, 4 in the white, had 4 goals and 2 assists. Offensive subs coming on for Chesapeake. Ryan Tucker likes the 2. That's stopped by Kaut as the Lizards go a man down.
Technical foul, offside, black, to be served by the end home, 3 flags. Technical foul, offside, 30 seconds.
So the Bayhawks, Quint, get their first chance on extra man. They didn't have an opportunity in that initial win against the Rattlers.
30 seconds means you got to get into it right away. You don't really have the time. So many youth league and high school coaches will say, throw the ball around, get it around once, and then we'll go. Well, in this situation, you got to be live right away.
Season ago, Chesapeake was second best in Major League Lacrosse to Denver. They clicked at a 39% success ratio. Ryan Tucker for Lyle Thompson. Steele Stanwick's the man on the inside. Lyle Thompson on the carry. Unterstein there to defend. Mariano moves it. Skip a man for Thompson. He fires. That one's blocked. Thompson will recover. Shot clock in Major League Lacrosse at 60. It's at 25 right now. Ball at the midline goosed over, but this is over and back, and it belongs to New York. Wasting no time, Begley chased from the blind side by Jesse Bernhardt. Good trail check there, relieving him of the lacrosse ball, and Ryan Tucker will jet the other way.
Bernhardt's a difference maker for the Bayhawks.
Thompson off the sweep. Gets to the alley, flush below the goal line, extended there by the Lizards defense. Long stick defender, 26, Scott Corcoran. Heacock, who led the Bayhawks in goals a season ago, number 2 in the white. You'll be seeing him at both an attack and midfield role. Abbott gets the alley, fires off the outside of the cage. We remain scoreless 3 minutes into this opening quarter. Major League Lacrosse, 15-minute quarters. 2 flagship franchises squaring off in this one. We rekindle the Lizards and Bayhawks rivalry.
Sloppy start for the Lizards and their home Blacks. An over and back violation, an offsides violation.
Both teams showing some rust early. They were idle last week. New York played a couple of games in 2 days' time to open this campaign. Abbott on the go. 11 seasons in Major League Lacrosse, all with the Bayhawks. He winds up, bounces this one home to give Chesapeake the early lead.
Matt Abbott is playing in his 137th professional lacrosse game. He has now 173 points. Okay, think about all those miles that he has logged as one of the best two-way midfielders of his generation. I spoke to him before the game, Joe. I said, Matt, what brings you out here tonight? He goes, I'm still having fun. And to play in this league, you got to be a man. But there also has to be a little boy in you also who still gets enjoyment out of playing the sport.
Absolutely. You could see that etched on his face as soon as he gets a chance to strap on the helmet and go for these Bayhawks. He had 7 shots in the opener against Dallas, did not convert any points. He's got the lead marker tonight, getting Chesapeake on the board, and Bayhawks with another chance to back it up here.
When you look at these two teams and you balance and you try to predict what's going to happen, I think there's an edge with this Chesapeake midfield.
Ryan Tucker a part of that.
I think both teams have great attacks. I think both teams have some question marks, some inexperience on defense.
Thompson off of a screen. His drive was blocked and deflected out of bounds.
So if Chesapeake wins this game, I think it will be because of their superior midfield scoring.
On the lead early, thanks to a strike from Matt Abbott. 11 seasons of Major League Lacrosse play. This 32-year-old from Syracuse, New York. Former Orange All-American. Justin Ray is in possession here for the Lizards, 11 in the black. Former Albany Great Dane. Nick Spillane on the carry, 13 in black. That's a rookie out of Penn State. Spillane on the go, trying to lose Plumer in the alley. Pennell against Pratson. Maneuvers in, fires and missed it on the short side.
It's a really slow sub by the New York Lizards. They only kicked into their offense with 30 seconds to go on the shot clock. Now they're giving them a reset, and Nico Amato can't believe it.
He didn't appear to touch it, and it did not look as if it hit the frame of the goal. And still New York gets the fresh 60. Plumer muscles up on Spillane, buries him. Pennell in the ground ball battle there with Pratson, and it comes up in black for the Lizards.
You see how a guy like Nick Spillane out of Penn State, congratulations to Nick and Joey Sessa of Yale. Their first shifts as pros. Welcome to the league, young man.
Aponte, another former Nittany Lion, 16 in the black, working back behind the cage. Picked there by Pratson and by Abbott. Aponte gets topside, bounces this one wide, backed up by Pennell. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Pennell off the roll. Waits, turns and fires, just missed on Nico Amato. Pennell, who took 14 shots in the last outing, in a spot of bother there. He's been nicked. Slow to get up from his knees. Sessa on the feed. This outside heater that's gunned wide by Aponte. It'll be Chesapeake ball. And Rob Pennell definitely ailing. Pennell has been in that posture for some time now. 3 times a Major League Lacrosse scoring champion and the reigning MVP.
Left side of the screen.
Took a slash to the leg, it appeared. Zach Pratson, the Division II Defender of the Year out of Lemoyne College, has been the man attached to Pennell for most of the first 6+ minutes of this quarter. Chesapeake, the 1-0 advantage. We'll bring you back for more in this opening quarter from Hempstead, New York.
It's RP3 going to work. He's had look at this. To Pennell. Highlight reel material.
This is the best player in lacrosse.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby. You got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before. You know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
Power age. Man, if I had had that kind of power back in my day, I'd have been so unstoppable. They'd have made a movie about me. Would have had everything. Action, suspense, and the greatest ending of all time. I love that movie.
As we're about to get back to the live action Major League Lacrosse on ESPN Plus, a few moments ago during that commercial timeout, Rob Pennell, under his own power, able to make his way to the sideline after taking a slash to a sensitive area, one would imagine.
He went down like Sonny Liston against Muhammad Ali. It was kind of like, I didn't really see it.
Been shaking it off on the sideline. He's been in a catcher's pose for most of the last minute. Hope to see him back out there soon. Galasso and Crowley get to work for the Lizards from the midfield. Ray against Manis. Plenty of former Maryland Terrapins on this Chesapeake Bayhawks squad. Takes residence in Annapolis, Maryland at Navy Marine Corps when they play their home dates. Aponte off the sneak, scores! Nick Aponte.
Penn State Nittany Lion, who had spent time on the Bayhawks roster, capitalizes on an overzealous Kyle Tucker approach. Tucker runs hard towards X, and Aponte, whoop, just curls topside right-handed, his first of the season. And I think he's a nice mix. You know, no Dylan Malloy tonight. I don't think that's really a big deal because I think Aponte is going to play off of Pennell and off of Matthews exceptionally well.
Aponte didn't get in the first couple of games for the Lizards this season. He played 3 a year ago with the Chesapeake Bayhawks. Facing his old mates tonight, Justin Ray will backpedal away from the pressure of Jesse Bernhardt.
A very different player from Dylan Malloy, who is a bulldozer, a linebacker with a lacrosse stick. Aponte known for his change of direction and his quickness.
Sommerfeld with it, waiting for Pennell to come in off the sideline. Great news for Lizards fans. Rob's ready to roll. Getting downhill here on Bernhardt. Slings and scores! Rob Pennell.
I was begging for more of this last week. In 2 games, I felt that Pennell's only area of isolation was from behind the net. Well, why not put him out top and have him alley dodge, have him zigzag in front of the goal to put defenders in an uncomfortable spot? But this one's on the goalie, Nico Amato, who points to Jesse Bernhardt afterwards and points to his chest as if to say, my fault.
The 29-year-old Pennell on the board with his 3rd strike of the season. He had 43 a year ago. Back-to-back goal for the Lizards. Aponte and Pennell giving the homestanding New Yorkers a 2-1 advantage. This is a Chesapeake team that won 4 of 7 on the road last year. They begin the 2019 campaign to the Bayhawks with 3 of their first 4 away from home. Expect Pennell to control the lacrosse ball a lot tonight. B.J. O'Hara was saying it's just up to the rest of our guys to move well without the ball and let him find you. Shot clock now at 20 around the Ray screen.
Trying to get a switch on to Pennell.
Heavy hitting from this Bayhawks defensive bunch with the sticks flying. There's a hold, and possession's going to belong to Chesapeake.
Yeah, so much of the New York offense revolves around Pennell and a pick setter behind the goal. They're trying to pull off a big little switch to get Rob a favorable matchup. Nick Manis, 20 and white, would have none of it.
Lyle Thompson will play it on for Isaiah Davis-Allen. Springfield, Virginia native off the roll dodge against Sommerfeld. Bring it on around for Heacock. Heacock measured by New York defender Brett Osmond. Heacock powering his way in. Sends that one off a Lizard defender, and the ground ball belongs to Ben Randall. Clearing time for New York. You have 20 seconds to get across that midfield line in Major League Lacrosse. 2-1 lead for the Lizards in the dark jerseys. Tail end of the opening quarter now. Pennell floats it over the top. Galasso, move it quickly. Matthews fires and scores.
Bayhawks with a sloppy clear and a bad shot. Comes back to haunt them. Terrific assist from Nicky Galasso. One more down low, and Matthews, the deception to look low and jam that ball high. But 5 in black makes this play. Galasso so versatile. Former attackman for for North Carolina and Syracuse. There's Nicky Galasso, Long Island native, one of the I would say one of the top 10 high school lacrosse players in Long Island history in terms of the PR, the pub, the hype, the buildup, and what he was able to do as a high schooler here. Great to see him still in the game and playing at a high level. I thought he was really, really good last weekend in 2 Lizard losses.
At that time you were mentioning back in high school, he was thought to be the nation's #1 recruit out of West Islip High. He won 4 straight Class A state championships with that squad. 3 unanswered for New York in a 3-1 lead. Back to back to back, Aponte, Pinnell, and Matthews. Thompson looks to counter here. Drifting below the goal line against Jack Carrigan. Thompson uses wonderful leverage off the defender. His pass, though, is picked off by Scott Corcoran. Austin Kaut in the goal for the Lizards. Fancy stick work there from the goalkeeper, but the ball's free. A strong ride, and it's bowled in! A spectacular one-handed effort from Colin Heacock.
This is a terrific energy goal by the Bayhawks, who committed just another sloppy turnover. But you know what? You play the next play. Couts triple teamed. Carrigan can't handle. Look at the white bodies get to the ball, and Heacock scoops and scores as he falls down to the game. The importance of riding and hustling.
Colin Heacock, who had the hat trick against Dallas in the season opener, finds the empty cage there. He was blanked by New York here a season ago in the regular season finale, a game that New York prevailed 18-12 over Chesapeake. Begley here through midfield.
Virginia coach Lars Tiffany telling us this year that the attack, when they ride, it's like a pass rush. It's, you put pressure on the ball carrier, you're going to force a quarterback to make a bad throw. You're going to force a turnover. And that's what that attack did. That three-man rush, that three-man pressure created enough chaos.
They definitely flushed out the Lizards goalie there on that clear. There's a flag down. Lizards soon to go extra man. Aponte. Too many guys on the defensive end of the field for Chesapeake as Galasso leans in against Bernhardt. Amato makes the save. The rebound bounced right back to Galasso. Fresh 60-second shot clock with 3.5 to go in this opening quarter. Pinnell wants the ball. Flag down against Chesapeake. Rob Pinnell driving in against Pratson. Aponte on the dunk. Stabbed there by Nico Amato as the Bayhawks go a man down.
How about that save? Nico Amato.
31 white, offsides, 30 seconds. 31 white, offsides, 30 seconds.
Not tonight, Nico Amato. Dip and dunk. He buys the fake for a moment and then reacts. Watch ahead of his stick. Boom, right there. Not tonight.
New York goes extra man here, Q. They were 1 for 4 against Denver in the home opener. Didn't have an extra man against Boston in the game you saw them play the Cannons in Quincy. They circle it up for Pinnell.
It's Quincy.
Careful on your local pronunciation. This one's buzzed wide of the goal by Sommerfeld.
Joe's a great crowd. Wonderful energy. A rock group, a climbing wall, tons of concessions, adult beverages.
And a real good one-goal game as Crowley pumps this one upstairs.
Counterintuitive goal on an extra man situation, where the last thing you're thinking defensively is that the ball carrier is going to dodge. And so you see how he lures the defender out. Isaiah Davis-Allen just over approaches, expecting a pass or shot. Nobody dodges on extra man. Well, Mr. Crowley does.
2 times a Major League Lacrosse All-Star and MVP back in 2013 with Florida. Kevin Crowley has goals in all 3 outings this season for the Lizards. Pasculgian comes up with a face-off win for New York. BJ O'Hara going through some competition at practice recently. Had 3 face-off men out there. Mark Andrejak, Noah Rack, they were all competing for starting time at the X.
Want to go back to Crowley. I think it's fair to say, is he the most accomplished player in Stony Brook Seawolf history? I think he is. His points, he put up like 40 points plus every year as a midfielder. Led his team to the NCAA tournament. A program right now, Joe, looking for a head coach.
You've been telling me, you've been trying to keep me up to date on the comings and goings. Sessa out of Yale University, the rookie, finds Pinnell. Floated back, Sessa one more for Spillane, and another great save by Amato. Ball down on the deck. It'll come up in black for Nick Spillane, making his Major League Lacrosse debut out of Penn State. Justin Ray, his twin brother Troy, played at Albany with him in the Great Danes. Pinnell back behind the cage. New York in the dark jerseys on top by 2. Pratson keeping Pinnell at stick's length. Off of a strong pick, Pinnell turns the corner to score.
Offensive efficiency in the back half of this first quarter has been outstanding. Pick perfection. 25 in white, Hersey gets caught flat-footed. The matchup change, bam, right there. Pinnell, too much speed, gets top side. Textbook two-man game, pick and roll offense.
Rob Pinnell a season ago against Chesapeake had a 7-goal performance. He already has a pair in the opening quarter tonight. A little bit more than 70 seconds with which to work in this opening frame. Massa and Paskuljian at the face-off X. Massa round and round with Paskuljian as they dig for the ground ball. It'll come up for Begley. Begley has numbers, goes right to the cooker. Stopped by Amato. Less than a minute to operate in this opening quarter. The Lizards, should they choose, Pinnell can have the last possession of this frame. So Pinnell in no hurry to work against Zach Pratson, a 21-year-old from Connecticut. It was Pratson who caught Pinnell in the midsection about 10 minutes ago and left the star attackman down on the deck for a few moments.
Pratson out of Lemoyne, D2 Defender of the Year. This is a step up in class for him.
Pinnell angles in, 14 seconds, turns off that question mark. Missed it there, diving effort. The officials are going to award the ball to the hustling Nick Manis and the Bayhawks. Closest to the ball after where and when it leaves after a shot. Final 5 seconds of the quarter. Tucker on the feed. Long range towards a goal. That was a 2-point delivery from Colton Watkinson, and the officials will say count it. In lacrosse, the ball has to be out of the head of your stick before time expires, and it was.
And this shot is allowed to deflect off a defensive player or the goalie and into the net. It cannot hit an offensive player on its way after double zeros.
Dramatics for the Bayhawks late in the opening quarter. Colton Watkinson finds himself with a lacrosse ball. This was the way Matt Abbott provided earlier on, but it would be Watkinson in fine style. We're 5-4 after 1. Major League Lacrosse is brought to you by Powerade. Hydrate with Powerade and leave it all on the field. Powerade, power through. By Coca-Cola. Enjoy every goal, face-off, and cross-check of today's game with a deliciously refreshing ice-cold Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Official fan refreshment of Major League Lacrosse. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By Maverick. Maverick Lacrosse develops market-leading products so athletes at all levels can play their best. Maverick Lacrosse, powered by the player. Cascade Lacrosse is the #1 manufacturer of lacrosse head protection for male and female athletes. Cascade Lacrosse, passion to protect. By New Balance. And by Warrior. Just a beautiful night for lacrosse here in Hempstead, New York, on the campus of Hofstra, the home of the New York Lizards. Stewart Stadium, New York 5-4 over Chesapeake after 15 minutes. Q, we've mentioned these two teams have seen each other 5 times in Major League Championship history.
Hall of Famer Casey Powell, Josh Sims, he'll be in the Hall of Fame someday, check. Oh, and Paul Gates stole the show with 7 goals. You talk about two teams that were loaded. There's Sal Lacasio on the left, Patty McCabe's in that shot. Vinny Sombrado off to the left. I was there, that game was in Connecticut. It was like 106 degrees. Paulie Gates stole the show. Just a wonderful end of the year one, a championship weekend that was played over Labor Day. On the day off, I went down to the U.S. Open tennis.
Attaboy. Season number 19 for Major League Lacrosse. So much history to refresh. Thinking back to 01. Gate had 7 in the championship game.
Yeah.
He had the OT winner against Rochester in the semis that year.
The first 3 years of the league, as we'll show you later in the show, 01, 02, and 03, it was a two-headed monster. And you think about the rivalry, it starts in high school. Who's better? The kids from Long Island or upstate New York or Maryland? It's always New York, Maryland, New York, Maryland. That continues in college. A lot of teams. We used to have a scrimmage at Johns Hopkins. We had the New York kids versus the Maryland kids. That New York-Maryland rivalry.
You're seeing it tonight at the pro level. You mentioned Sal Lacasio. How about Greg Petrano on the other end? Lyle Thompson fires to score, and Chesapeake has battled from 3 down to tie it at 5.
Saw Rob Pennell use a pick at X earlier. Thompson now with a wing. This is a pass and pick down scenario. And then he curls topside. A terrific job by Ryan Tucker, 12 in white. Passes the ball down the wing and picks down. Pass, pick down. Thompson does the rest with a right-handed curl.
Lyle Thompson, 2 times a Tewaaraton Award winner during his collegiate career at Albany. Ryan Tucker, who didn't play in game 1 against Dallas, good to go tonight and very instrumental on that last strike as Begley comes up for the Lizards here in a 5-5 game early in the second quarter. A wide open look, and that one's pumped home from the outside by the face-off man Paskoljian.
He's had a good night winning faceoffs. That was one of the storylines in that first quarter. Paskoljian, the former member of the Ohio Machine. This is terrific delayed transition, a slow break, so to speak. It's not a true 4-on-3, but the ball's thrown to the wing, and Paskoljian just fills and finishes and balances the field. The first man down, it's important that you cut the crease. You will drag a player down there with you, leaving space up top for that throwback to Paskoljian.
Who takes the next draw against Massa. Pops this one high in the air. Kicking at it. And off the scoop, it's Alex Spring, the long stick midfielder for New York. Lizards will get up 6-on-6 here in a 6-5 lead at the moment. Paskoljian getting himself on the board. Sommerfeld trekking in now for New York.
Lizards are dominating. Okay, you think about Heacock's garbage goal and the Watkinson kind of lousy 2-pointer, and they're controlling this game.
Matthews, little give and go exchange with Crowley. Bumped off there by Kyle Tucker defensively, 7 in white for Chesapeake. Pennell darting in. Maneuvers to his right. Pratson stays right there with him. Around the screen set by Matthews. The jump shot from Sommerfeld was blocked. Davis Allen will go the other way. Isaiah Davis Allen, who scored his first goal as a pro against Dallas in the season opener, will dish this one off, and Chesapeake will get some offensive subs on soon. Steele Stanwyck quarterbacks the offense, 6 in the white. 23 is Nick Mariano, who had 3 against Dallas on just 4 shots. Flag down against New York. Chesapeake soon to go extra man. Almost 3 minutes into the second quarter now. Isaiah Davis Allen has remained out there. Works in against Galasso, fires, and Couch sees that one deflect out of play.
Smart identification by Isaiah. This is the goal I referenced early by Colton Watkinson late at the end of the first quarter. Austin Couch just kind of gets handcuffed by it, and that's outside the 2-point arc. Wasn't touched by an offensive player, and it was released before double zeros.
That shooting release, it looked like it was partially blocked. It created some crazy English there that didn't get fielded well by Couch.
Couch's balance didn't look ideal. He was falling to one side, and it looked like the ball went the other way on him.
Bayhawks go extra man. Heacock reversing it for Ryan Tucker. Tucker scored 3 times from outside that 2-point arc last year, some 16 yards from the cage. Ryan Tucker didn't get that pass. Thompson backs it up. Just about halfway through the shot clock. Bouncer, score! A long-range bid for Mariano that should also be thought of as close to 2, but maybe on the line.
He stepped on the line, yes.
On the line.
And the official had a great angle. And Coach Cottle's looking to throw the challenge flag, but he clearly stepped on the 2-point line. And yet another case where Couch just can't handle this short hop. Foot's clearly over the line. Ball may have been deflected. Let this angle show us. No, wow. That just comes out of the stick funny and takes a kind of a spin hop. He wants the 2, but you're not going to get it. Just be thankful you got 1 on that one. Wow, 2 of the softest goals we've ever seen.
Just bad hops. And Couch fooled by both. In this 6-6 contest, Massa comes up with a draw for the Bayhawks. Kenny Massa, who won 18 of 29 against Dallas against Casey Dowd. Chesapeake in the white, just its second game of the season. And the Bayhawks are idle again next week before they get a chance to sink their teeth into the home opener against Atlanta on June 29. Tucker off the split dodge. Thompson and Stanwyck are back behind the cage. Swinging on around for Watkinson. Powerful looking athlete draws an early slide there. Romano hedging over the short stick defensive midfielder. Stanwyck bluffs the pass. He has Randall hung up. Shot clock at 10. Off the cut. Great stop there by Couch as he denied Heacock.
Couch earns one back there with that stop.
Begley, a workhorse for New York, jogging it ahead into the offensive territory. Romano will exchange with Aponte, and the Lizards can settle in 6-on-6.
Tell you one thing that stood out to me walking the field during warm-ups is just the size of this Chesapeake Bayhawk roster. Big, strong, fast in comparison to the Lizards.
They look good coming off the bus, don't they?
Well, their head coach and president Dave Cottle's in charge of all personnel decisions, and he values length on defense and size on offense. He especially loves big midfielders.
Matthews operating behind the cage for New York on the exchange there with Aponte. Abbott there to defend. Abbott's footwork still terrific in his early 30s. Shoveled here for a Spillane drive, and Amato made that look easy. Floats it on for C.J. Costabile as the Bayhawks look for a fast break. Ryan Tucker for two, denied by Count. Rebound loose in the doorstep, bounced back behind the goal. Stanwyck feeds, Tucker, he scores!
You gotta love that action. That's just terrific, terrific lacrosse as the Bayhawks break out. They had a trailer break going and they take the outside two. Count makes a good save. He wants an interference call there as he's fishing for that. Stanwyck comes up with the rebound, and guess what? Steele Stanwyck's got his eyes up. Is that any kind of surprise, Joe?
No.
It's one thing to get a ground ball on a rebound, but it's the other to have your eyes up and to capitalize on a defense that's helter-skelter, that's not marked up. And he puts that ball right on Tucker's stick.
He found a guy who doesn't miss the net very often. Ryan Tucker, a 43% shooter a season ago, giving Chesapeake the 7-6 advantage.
That's what's interesting about that number, Joe? The amount of twos he takes, and he's still shooting such a high percentage.
Off the turnover, Chesapeake takes possession. Ryan gets some refreshments.
Momentum seems to have shifted. It's almost, we talk about possessions and possession efficiency, but it seems like whoever's winning face-off thus far is scoring.
First touch for Brendan Bomberry, 45 off the Bayhawks bench in white, playing a little two-man game with Lyle Thompson. Thompson, so creative with his stick. Sidewinds that pass across the field. Mariano lost it, rolled it right to Austin Count, got it back. But then he was in the crease, a crease violation against the Bayhawks.
Subway pickpockets, Joe.
Quick hands on display all the way around. Randall, the All-American out of Ohio State, drags it ahead, and the Lizards try to get back into a tie game here. They can take the lead with a 2.
I was hoping you'd tell the story about your Subway entertainer today.
No. Can't go there. Brilliant musicians everywhere. Crowley for New York against Plumer.
Wow.
Amato able to deflect that one. Sommerfeld with a BB that was headed upstairs.
It's just amazing how the two-man game, that variation from a wing, has just become a staple that all players now are drilling it in high school, college, and you're seeing in the pros, and it's so beautiful.
Everybody's using it. We'll be back to Hofstra in just a few moments. Chesapeake on top.
In the year 2000, Major League Lacrosse was born, creating the ultimate stage for the best lacrosse players in the world. Since the beginning, only one helmet has been their choice. Cascade Helmets, a heritage of protection. We are American innovators with a passion to protect. Always factory custom, always made in America, and always our best for you. Cascade Helmets, passion to protect.
Powerade. Man, if I had had that kind of power back in my day, I'd have been so unstoppable. They'd have made a movie about me. Would have had everything. Action, suspense, and the greatest ending of all time. I love that movie.
Chesapeake with 5 of the last 6 points on the board. The Bayhawks a 7-6 leader nearing the midway mark of the second quarter. Joe Beninati and Quint Kesnick with you, and these are two titans of Major League Lacrosse who met in the championship game back in 2002.
Columbus Crew Stadium, we were on hand. Mark Millen put on a show. Greg Cotrano was awesome in the net since Gary Gate with a feed inside and a high rip. Millen it was a gorgeous day. You see Tommy Maricek in that shot. Just revenge, so to speak, from losing the championship game the prior year. That they rolled that day to the tune of 21 goals.
Every year in that those early summers of Major League Lacrosse, it was a who's who of lacrosse greats. Millen had 5 goals on 6 shots that day for the Bayhawks. You mentioned Cotrano. He had 25 saves in goal in that championship game. Austin Kaut against Nico Amato, the netminders tonight. Lizards in the dark jerseys, trailing on home turf by 1. This is the only game of the Major League Lacrosse weekend. Nice cut there from Sommerfeld. He bounced that one wide.
Go back to those early seasons. It was a 6-team league, and the teams started to become teams in year 2 and 3. There was very little player movement. I mean, if you were drafted out of college, it was hard to make a roster. You had, what was it, 19 back then, 19-man rosters. The thing about colleges, they got 50-man, 55-man teams. So just to make a team, but to crack into a lineup, with names, as we said, Gate, Millen, Sims, Canabine, Cotrano, Lacasio, McCabe. These guys are all future Hall of Famers.
And multiple All-Americans. Steele Stanwick, a quick trigger for Lyle Thompson. Thompson badgered there by Crowley and by the long stick midfielder Spring. Shot clock's at 18. Ryan Tucker, who played collegiately at Virginia. Move it outside. Heacock, skip it over the top. Mariano has all day. He scores!
There's one thing that Mariano, who last year put up 23 points playing for Florida, can do exceptionally well. And that is shoot the pill. Watch this. Steps into 14, left-handed, side-winding rip. He's got multiple release points, high velocity, and perfect location. The 3 things you need as a young shooter: release points, velocity, and location.
Dave Cottle in the sweatshirt there to the right. Coach Schillinglaw also whispering to the bench boss. This is a Chesapeake team that outscored the Dallas Rattlers 9-4 in the second half of week 1. Opening half tonight in New York against the Lizards, and on top by 8-6.
6-1 run now, and they're starting to win all the faceoffs.
Lizards take over. Begley finding Pinnell. B.J. O'Hara said he had a lengthy conversation with Pinnell after the Boston game. They both feel like the Lizards are close. 2 close losses have New York at 0-2 in the early going. Spillane for Pinnell over the top. Ray, score! Justin Ray.
That puts an end to a 6-1 Bayhawk run. Skip pass by Pinnell. He finds the open man. It was the furthest away from him in the formation. The defense gets too congested and condensed, and Pinnell's ability to skip pass, that was more of a lob variation. And Ray, I love the way he shot the post, the offside post, and handcuffed Amato.
Totally. Justin Ray getting in the lineup tonight after missing the first 2 games. Dylan Malloy, high-scoring Lizards attackman, not available tonight. Massa wins the draw for the Bayhawks. Their lead now shriveling to 1. Massa fires and scores! The face-off man says, "Get out of my way."
From the draw, he wins the initial clamp, exits himself He's double teamed, and look at the athletic ability. And we use the term FOGO, an acronym for face off, get off, an acronym for fear of getting old. But these guys have skills now. You don't play pro as a face-off man if you don't have a certain skill, and that was just beautiful lacrosse play by Massa as he carried in. He's sensing that the defense wasn't respecting him. The defense picks their poison. They play the percentages. They play the analytics. It says, don't leave Lyle Thompson as the point man. Well, Massa makes him pay.
Massa, nowhere near old, 23 years of age, second-year pro from Huntington, New York. Veskuljian wins this draw for the Lizards, who are trailing by 2 on home turf. The lights are starting to take full effect this Saturday night in Hempstead, New York.
Joe, I want to know the analytics for when a face-off man scores, what's his winning percentage of the next draw? Because if I were coach and I had options, he's coming to have a seat on the bench after he scores a goal.
Just think he's too pumped up.
Too much adrenaline, yeah.
A little more than 5 minutes away from halftime here at Schuert Stadium. Pannell operating against Pratson. Rolls back and fires over top of the crossbar. The backup there belongs to Sommerfeld. Restarting quickly with 24 seconds to go in the shot clock. In Major League Lacrosse, it's at 60. Ray loops it. Pannell takes it on the move. Nick Manis, short stick defender against Pannell. Dancing with the ball. Shot clock at 3. Pannell had that one stopped by Amato. They race to the end line. This will be Chesapeake ball. Closest to the ball where and when it leaves the playing surface after a shot gets awarded possession. As Manis toes it ahead for the Bayhawks. That pass, though, gets away from Heacock. A sloppy turnover there. Right back to the Lizards.
It's a tough time of night to see this orange ball.
Twilight just about in full effect. Aponte and the Lizards directing traffic now. Kyle Tucker pressing way out there with a strong check. Puts the ball on the ground. Kyle Tucker knocked away by Aponte. Spillane gets dumped by Heacock. And Spillane recaptures to clear.
Heacock's taking names, and Tucker is stealing lunch money.
Time ticking away, less than 3.5 with which to work in the second quarter. Ray inverted here against Manis. Ray on the bouncer that's off the outside of the goal. Amato had the angle there. It's clearing time for Chesapeake.
An important 3 minutes in this ball game, Joe. For New York, they're 0-2. They can't drop that third game. Climbing in the standings from last place in this league has never been conducive to winning a championship.
No doubt.
Or maybe once.
A little bit. Oh, I can remember one time. Definitely. Mariano a long way from the cooker. Same for Colton Watkinson, who had a 2-pointer in the opening quarter. Osman out there to defend for New York, 7 in the black. Randall keeping tabs on Stanwick, who slipped away from the defender. That pass, though, is picked off beautifully by Austin Kaut. Kaut starts the fast break for Corcoran. Look at the Bayhawks recover, though. It's Heacock again. Just over 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Father's Day weekend here in Hempstead, New York. Heacock delivers for Watkinson. Double team comes. Randall there with a hatchet.
Nice job by Randall. Love the way he sits down. He's so mobile and active with a stick.
Lyle Thompson probing. Bomberry turns and fires that one over top of the cage. 18 for Steele Stanwick and the Bayhawks. Bomberry, we expect to see him both at attack and midfield throughout the night. Stanwick on the go. Shaded by Osmond. Watkinson around the horn, for Heacock. 5 seconds to shoot against Beck. Stand. That one inside. It's deflected away by Carrigan. Shot clock violation against Chesapeake. Stay with us at the half. A Father's Day feature on Dallas attackman Zach Greer will come your way.
Zach Greer has always been one of my favorite players. Just the nicest guy. His career at Duke and then Bryant and then as a pro for so long. He loves playing the game. He plays competitively with a fire. He can shoot it like nobody's business. But just such a nice person that you want to spend time with.
Fun to watch for a long time. Shot clock's at 25, game clock at 45. Crowley lets it go. Amato found that one through the screen. Snaps the outlet pass. It's deflected down and away. It didn't get into the cross cleanly of Warren Jeffrey. Crowley comes up with a scoop. Jeffrey's there with him. 30 seconds in the half. Lizards have the ball unsettled. Down low, Pennell spins, scores! Rob Pennell.
Scrappy goal by the Riding Lizards, who wouldn't let the Bayhawks out of their zone. The tail end, you see Pennell, body control with the spin. He's not going to miss that type of opportunity. That goal was earned, though, by the hustle. And it was a big goal with 25.8 to go here to make it only a one-goal game.
First hat trick of the young season for Rob Pennell, a guy who averaged 6 points per game last year. Final 23 ticks of the opening half. Major League Lacrosse on ESPN Plus tonight in Hempstead, New York. Massa comes out of there with a draw, being attacked all the way by Alex Spring. 10 seconds. Davis Allen lets it go. Count was there at the top of the crease. Zips it the length of the field. Finds his man. Ray, he scores! From Austin Count, coast to coast.
It's 80 yards from goal to goal. So this is a 70-yard strike thrown by the lefty Austin Count of Penn State. Philadelphia native, residential real estate broker, mortgage broker by day, throwing bombs over the middle to Troy Ray by night.
That's pretty darn good. Justin converts with 0-3 left, and it's 9-9. Violation against Piskuljian. Massa heaves it towards the cage at the end of the half. This will bounce harmlessly away. And these two terrific flagship Major League Lacrosse franchises renewing their rivalry 9-9 at the half.
It's always something new, isn't it, Joe? We saw two of the most bizarre goals that we've ever seen on change-ups and funky bounces. And then we saw a goalie assist, a 70-yard pass like I have never seen before. I've seen Hail Mary, but never thrown on a frozen rope like that on target.
It was amazing. It was a bullet, and Ray converted it, giving the Lizards 3 of the last 4 points of the quarter. CJ Costabile and friends looking skywell. And Major League Lacrosse early on in the campaign, Q, here's the look at our standings.
You know, I got to watch Boston in Quincy opening weekend. I was really impressed with their chemistry. Like, their talent level didn't jump off the page at me, but they're a team. They're glued, and they're going to be a tough out all season long. Chesapeake, to me, has tremendous talent at the attack and midfield. Their defense is clearly a work in progress. And then you go to the bottom of the standings. This game is so important for New York. You fall 0-3, you're putting yourself to where you're going to have to climb a mountain that may be insurmountable.
Boston led last week by Defensive Player of the Week in Major League Lacrosse, goalie Nick Baracco, who had 15 stops against Dallas. Cannons jumped out to an 8-0 lead in that one. This one's been close from the jump. 5-4 Lizards after one, 9-9 through two. As we bring you back to the Face-Off X for the start of quarter number 3. Messrs. Piskuljian and Massa on the draw. Massa bouncing it loose. Strong wing play, though, winning the ground ball, coming up for Begley. B.J. O'Hara says Begley has impressed him. He does a little bit of everything all over the field.
He catches your eye with the energy level that he plays with. He plays fast. No indecision.
Sommerfeld will drop it off for Kevin Crowley. Crowley maneuvering in against Bernhardt. Amato made the save, straightening up there on Crowley off the isolation, and back comes Chesapeake with Isaiah Davis-Allen leading the charge. Fellow Terp Nick Manis joining him. Manis bluffing the two-pointer, those two short stick defensive stalwarts out of the University of Maryland. Lyle Thompson picks up C.J. Costabile, and he'll play to Matt Abbott. Abbott, who started the scoring for Chesapeake back in the first.
Little nuance or subtlety. Isaiah Davis-Allen staying on the field, trying to keep Nicky Galasso on as well and play some defense.
Abbott lost his footing. 20 seconds left in the shot clock. In Major League Lacrosse, it's a 60-second variety. Lyle Thompson floats in. Nice pass there, just gets away from the cutting Steele Stanwyck. This will be Lizards' ball. Austin Kaut, the goalkeeper for New York, led Major League Lacrosse in total saves last year with Florida. The lights have taken full effect now. This was a 7 p.m. Eastern Time local start in Hempstead, New York. The only game on Major League Lacrosse's calendar this weekend. Sommerfeld and Davis-Allen. Behind the cage to Pennell. Butting in to his defender, Pratson. Pennell already with a hat trick, spins and fires wide. It'll stay New York ball.
Pratson's earning his paycheck.
No doubt. Aponte around the two-point arc, 16 yards from the goal in Major League Lacrosse. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Pennell. Zips it to Crowley. Crowley fighting through the check there of the defender, Jeffrey. 2 seconds to shoot. Shot clock violation against the Lizards.
Mark Matthews has been really quiet in this game. 42 in black, the lefty attackman.
As Hersey sprints it across, Matthews, a guy who we saw get stone cold robbed
Got a lot
time
of
after time
yeah.
by Dylan Ward in week one.
He got a lot of touches in that game and got a lot of quality shots, and just the flow of the offense tonight, he's just not handling the ball. We're not calling his name.
He has one tonight. He had one against Boston, two against Denver. Lyle Thompson on the ball here. Nice pass for Mariano. Gets underneath, and Count makes the save. Racing out of the cage, or he's dropped quickly by Heacock. Heacock with a strong ground ball for Chesapeake.
Heacock's been on a mission riding and during ground ball scrums.
Trying to loosen himself up from Begley and Osman now. Heacock lumbering into the alley. Just failed there as he was trying to switch from left to right. And Osman, the 23-year-old from Miller Place, New York, begins the clear with Coutts' help. Long pass delivered, a strike for Matthews. Spillane was there, just barely avoiding the over and back. Nick Spillane making his professional Major League Lacrosse debut tonight.
They're offsides. Count the oh no, they're not, Joe.
Take it back.
I'm taking it back. The referees have the same uniforms that the Lizards have on.
Doug Donovan, Steve Miller, Tim McCaffrey, and Scott Rayburn wearing the zebra stripes tonight. Spillane and Matthews on the interchange. Matthews against Costabile. Good pick off by Nick Manis. Manis steals it for the Bayhawks as they look for the first point of this third quarter. Ryan Tucker. CJ Costabile fires. That hit cross traffic. It hit Randall in front of the goal. Loose ball. Thompson shovels it upstairs. Lyle Thompson.
If you're a New York fan, these goals are stingers. They're really not earned by the Bayhawks. Costabile takes a poor shot in my estimation. There's Thompson. Quick ground ball scoop. And then before you can blink, the ball's in his cross from a low release right above the turf. He snaps that ball up into the corner. Just amazing skill level.
Thompson had a half a dozen points in Chesapeake's win over Dallas a couple of weeks ago, back in week 1. 4+2. He had a hat trick against the Lizards last year. He's got 2 goals tonight as Paskoljian wins the draw and flicks it back for Begley. 10-9 for Chesapeake if you're just tuning in with us. The Bayhawks in the white jersey. New York bested by both Denver and Boston to open the young season, searching for its first win of the campaign. Crowley bullying his way inside, fires, and Nico Amato vacuums it up. Warren Jeffrey clearing. Down the sideline with Nick Manis. Bayhawks going deep into their short stick defensive midfield stable, dressing 4 of those tonight.
You sound surprised.
Yeah, I just thinking about discussions we had during the week here is on the run looking for that conversion was Jesse Bernard just away from his cross. You guys keep telling me they look to get as many as 5 offensive midfielders like Matt Abbott. On the handoff here to Heacock, 13 seconds to shoot. Heacock's free, buzzes that one right on, and Count made the save. Crossing over smartly there. Unterstein drags it ahead for the Lizards.
I think the roster composition, remember it's only 20 guys compared to college. College teams carry 55 to 50 players, so they got 20.
18-2, right? 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah, but I think that the trend we're seeing is more defensive midfielders because they do a lot of running. It's more tiring to play defense than offensive midfielders. And if you can have one midi who can play attack also, players who are versatile, who can play 2 roles, are very valuable.
Begley, who has goals in both games so far, dodging to the outside. Picks up Pennell. Snap pass to the interior for Matthews. Ricochets around and all the way to midfield. It's an over and back against New York. Lyle Thompson looking for the quick restart. Ryan Tucker thinking about a 2 off the big face dodge. Thompson fires. Count eats that one up down low. Interference. Restart for Chesapeake.
Stanwyck he's the king of the restarts. He hustles, he gets the ball, he runs to where the ref wants to give him a quick whistle. He earns the quick whistle, looking to capitalize on a defense that was caught napping.
Stanwyck just 7 assists a year ago. Odd to see that number with respect to his feeding ability. Abbott drawing a couple of defenders. Peering over the defense, his pass was blocked by Randall. Randall not able to drag that one to him. Quint, let's go back to the summer of 2003 in Major League Lacrosse for the 3rd straight championship game.
Nadalin, Greg Catrano, it was both franchises. It was Ali Frazier 3. It was.
It was the dawn of the Doctor too. Brian Doherty, 28 saves. Lowe, 22 seconds into overtime, his 4th goal of the game. Too much, even though Gary Gate provided 6 that day in a losing effort. We carry right along 3rd quarter in the present. The summer of 2019 in Major League Lacrosse. Bernhardt tried to go over the head on Ray. The Lizards in the dark jerseys trailing by 1 on home turf. Almost 9 minutes into the 3rd.
I remember that game in Villanova, Joe. The brown 3-piece polyester suit that I wore also.
You are, as always, a fashion statement.
I've never worn it since.
Thank God. Sessa lost the ball. This Lizards team in the collegiate draft brought in a number of former Yale standouts.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see the way it plays out. You know, Joey Sessa gets his inaugural game tonight, 17 in black. We're seeing Spillane as well. What they got? John Danigelis
and Ty
and
also.
Jack Ty.
Yep. Possibly as soon as next week. For a Lizards team that's trying to get off the schneid in a very young season, 0-2. Mariano off the split dodge. Moves it for Heacock, then Stanwyck. Point blank for Tucker. That one did not convert.
It was a half a second late. If they put it on his stick earlier, I think he slams that one past Austin Kaut. But it was a little late. And Kaut was able to turn and match up.
Randall glides ahead, clearing for the Lizards. Working against Bomberry here, the long stick close defender. Then gets help from Pinnell. Sends it skyward to Aponte. 10-9 for Chesapeake. Lyle Thompson has the only goal in this frame. Now some 10 minutes old.
Joe, are you surprised that Bernhardt hasn't been covering Pinnell and that it's been the relatively unproven Zach Pratson?
Very much so. Sessa's on the go here. Gets the jump on Hersey and bounces it wide. But yeah, I would have expected that we would have seen the all-world Team USA teammates against each other. Bernhardt against Pinnell.
Sessa with that alley, that wing dodge, that's his spot. He's a wing dodger, and because of his lack of size, his extreme quickness, he can be a threat here. He can create some matchups. Shot
clock violation against the Lizards at 60 seconds in Major League Lacrosse. Plumer's clearing effort was nearly stolen by Pinnell. Pratson finds Jeffrey, and away come the Bayhawks on the clear. Abbott, who used to be a one-man clear back in the day, I'm sure he can still run well enough to do just that. He was the master of the quote-unquote punt return clear. Just give it to three and get out of the way.
Think about a guy like Mark Fry or Kip Folks from some of the old Bayhawk teams who had that role.
That's that great group in 2005, maybe perhaps the best team ever assembled. Sankey and Fry and all those guys, Sims.
I think Abbott may be the best player, Joe, I've seen understanding clock and score scenarios at the midfield position.
Ryan Tucker now outside for Abbott, who fires from the angle. That's an easy stop for Kaut. As Kaut races from the cage, Abbott's right there in tow. Kaut runs through the double team. Nice stick handling, but there was a timeout called by B.J. O'Hara. Austin says, I got it, coach. I'm in control. Beautiful moves from the netminder.
Running for his life.
Absolutely.
I had breakfast with Austin today, and it brought back memories of when I met him on Penn State's campus. I think it was back in 2012 when I worked out with the Nittany Lions, and he was last in the running exercises. Austin was bringing up the rear, and he was a little chubby and a little overweight. And something clicked inside of him, changed his body. He went from being a really good goalie to being the best. And you know, he and Drew Adams are the monumental goalies that have played in that Penn State program. And Austin will be a pro for as long as he wants to be.
B.J. O'Hara says of Kaut, he's a born leader. Another coach on the field. He's been doing a very nice job in his first season directing the Lizards defense.
I think what he'll find, Joe, is fast twitch is an interesting thing as you get into your late 20s and early 30s. Now, you've seen in hockey how there are goalies now into their late 30s who are still effective, and that amazes me because I felt I lost my fast twitch at age 28.
Some of those guys are position players. They become more blockers than reactionary.
Do you see their game change?
Well, they play different arcs, shallower, letting the puck come to them. Yeah. All these goaltenders will tell you that they're at their best when they're nice and patient, and I think that works both sides of the street, whether it be hockey or lacrosse goal.
Very similar, and I'm starting to see lacrosse goalies using a lot of the ball hand-eye coordination drills, and they're stealing them from hockey. So if you're a young goalie, just log on and YouTube some of the hockey goalie warm-up drills. The juggling, the wall ball, and then, of course, the flexibility.
So much visualization. Count took his eyes off of that one. Thompson has a steal. Count's way out of the goal. And this is a tremendous defensive play by Randall to Rob Stanwyck.
There was a ton going on in that little play. From the steal to the masterful pass by Thompson. He knew he didn't want to throw it through sticks. He rolled it to Stanwyck. And then Randall comes out of nowhere and makes a save, and he catches it.
Spectacular. Off of a broken play. Galasso now for the Lizards. 5 in the black driving in. Worked over there by Davis Allen. Pratson is still right on the gloves of Pennell. Pennell with a hat trick on the question mark dodge there. Amato took the angle away. Ball down belongs to Davis Allen and the Bayhawks with 2:20 to go in the third quarter. It's a 10-9 Chesapeake lead.
Defensive quarter, for sure.
We were 9-9 after 2. Bayhawks will walk it across. Mariano doing the honors. Thompson wants the ball now. Picked up on the perimeter by Carrigan. Heacock and Stanwyck will work back behind the cage. Thompson from the wing. Flashy footwork. Rolling back on Carrigan. Here comes a double from Randall. Thompson surveys. Slips it inside. A spinning drive that was blocked for Mariano. 10 seconds on the shot clock right now. Thompson spins, one hand on his cross. Sharp angle. Score! Lyle Thompson with magic again.
Hat trick. Shot clock. Not his friend. Time running out. One-handed down the alley. Switches back to his right hand. Twists that one. Cow can't believe it. I can't either. How's he do this? One-handed cradle, goes back to 2. Lyle Thompson is so strong for his body weight. He rarely gets pushed off his line, and we were checking in the hotel together yesterday. He's skinny strong, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a wasted ounce.
Paskuljian off the draw, right to the cooker. He scores his second on the night for the faceoff man.
It's quite a night, and you see the big smile. Not all faceoffs are created equal. He's able to win that one out the front side. New York's attack scatters. They leave a massive crevice up the middle of the field. And Paskuljian, let's see if he can now win this ensuing draw, because my theory is Fogos, after they score, rarely win the next draw.
And Massa, his opposite number, probably more motivated, but Paskuljian does pop it loose.
There you go.
And get away from Kyle Tucker. Paskuljian, a D2 All-American at Adelphi University, part of a Panther program that's always at the top of the charts.
This league's a meritocracy. It's always been that way, Joe.
Crowley on the go here.
It's not based on pedigree. It's based on performance.
Two teams through the ages who've racked up a lot of wins and a lot of Major League Lacrosse titles clashing tonight. Final 40 seconds of the frame. Pennell hesitates. Worked over there by Tucker. Rob Pennell outside the 2-point arc. Move it quickly. That pass is low for Aponte. Dragged loose by the Bayhawk defender, but Bernhardt couldn't get the pickup. Nor could Jeffrey. 20 seconds in the quarter. Aponte off the hitch. Fires and scores! Beautiful moves from Nick Aponte.
In our discussions with Dave Cottle, Chesapeake head coach this week, He pointed to defensive ground balls. Well, when you don't come up with a loose ball in your own zone, this happens. And you called it, Joe, to perfection. The hitch capitalizes on the defensive approach. Just changes your individual trajectory as a ball carrier. So it's a fake, a big head and shoulder hitch, step, curl, and fire.
A multi-goal game for Aponte. We are 11-11 late in the third. A scramble for the draw. It'll come up to Romano of the Lizards. New York in the dark jerseys. Romano going to the cage, fires a bouncer. He scores! Steve Romano.
Use the earth. Amato's got to step towards this. That ball comes off the carpet with major spin and kind of kicks. Amato's got to attack that ball. Joe, you know, you're the Bowden blocker. You played the position.
Yes, I do, but I yield to you, the All-American.
Well, you can't go side to side. You got to attack that ball.
Especially when the shooter turns the wrists over and gets that spin. Take away that change of direction. Off this draw, it's flung towards the attackman Ray as the siren sounds, ending 3 action-packed quarters in Hempstead, New York. The Lizards, with the last 3 points on the board in quarter number 3, have a 12-11 advantage over their guests from Annapolis.
A proud sponsor of Major League Lacrosse since its inception, Warrior is dedicated to the innovative teaching equipment for all levels of lacrosse. Follow Warrior Laps on Instagram and subscribe to the Warrior Lacrosse YouTube channel to learn more. Warrior Lacrosse, right away. Lizards fans, the 2019 season is here. Don't miss a minute of the action. For single game tickets, contact your representative or visit nylizards.com/tickets. All right, fans, time to get out of your seats one more time.
Father's Day weekend in New York, 3 quarters complete here in Hempstead. Temps right around 70 degrees. A lovely night for lacrosse and Major League Lacrosse action. It's the Lizards and Bayhawks again, just like it was
Dixon was
great 2-point threat.
These teams were loaded, stacked, and jacked.
Chris Garrity in goal for the Bayhawks.
Garrity.
Long stick defender. Kyle Hartzell was the championship weekend MVP. That was the 10th anniversary season and the 5th time these incredible franchises have met for a title. The Bayhawks have won it 5 times. The Lizards have won it 3, the last of which came in 2015. There's a flag down here and some verbal jousting between Paskoljian and Davis Allen.
Unnecessary throw. 26 white, 1 minute. 26 white, unnecessary throw.
That's more than verbal jousting.
It'll give the Lizards the extra man.
On a 3-goal run. Paskoljian, looks like it's the retaliation portion of that. That's not over the line, and I'm guessing that was.
Man time for New York. Crowley zips it back behind the cage for Pennell. Matthews on this wing. Galasso up top. They change the formation. Ray, then Pennell. Skip it for a bullet from Sommerfeld. He scores.
The game is not as complicated as many would guess. Simple ball rotation. You get the defense rotating. Matthews sets a screen and then cuts inside, and the defense is just laid onto the scene. Shooter allowed to set his feet and rip one top shelf.
Assistant coach there, Ted Garber, in front of Alex Sommerfeld, who scores on the extra man. New York had the 2nd best shooting percentage last summer collectively as a team to Denver. They were 34% effective as an entire squad.
They couldn't play defense.
They were ranked 0, or rather last in that category. New York team that was 8-6 overall in the regular season, tied for 3rd with Denver in the regular campaign. Sessa off the split dodge, finds Pennell. The Lizards offense usually goes through number 3. Shaded there by the short stick defender, Manis.
Advantage Pennell.
Shot clock at 18. Pennell rolls, gets underneath and sends this one through the crease. Pratson gets tripped up. Ground ball belongs to Amato, alertly getting out of the cage to help his defenders. Long cross field pass. Sets Chesapeake up for an easy clear. Bayhawks trailing by 2 points. They have a 2-point goal tonight. Compliments of Colton Watkinson. Mariano, a pair of markers. Ryan Tucker is always a 2-point threat as Watkinson gets downhill. Osmond comes to tend to him. Lyle Thompson, so smooth. Skip a man through to Mariano. Beautiful head fake. The flip to the interior rolls all the way for Thompson. He hit the post. A bullet off the pipe. The long rebound collected by Jeffrey. Bayhawks do the good job there of staying on side. They get another offensive whack and a fresh 60-second shot clock for Heacock. Bulling his way in against Begley. Jump shot there. Kaut turned it away. Sprinting to the end line. And the officials are going to give New York the ball. Closest to it on a shot where and when it leaves the playing field, and they ruled Kaut had the advantage.
This 12 minutes is, I can't overemphasize the importance of this 12 minutes for the New York Lizards. At 0-2, you don't want to go 0-3, especially when you've played 2 home games. To put their foot down, get a home win, it really would be the start of their summer.
When they went through their practice prep this week, B.J. O'Hara said, we're close. It's not like they have major adjustments to make. Begley will work in here. They control a 2-point advantage now. Pannell spins back, hesitates, fires from the angle, bounce it over top of the goal.
The commonality in their first 2 losses, at home to Denver and then on the road against Boston, was that they played poorly. They were outplayed in the fourth quarter.
11-9 falling here to Denver. 13-12 losing in Massachusetts to the Cannons. Stonewalled by Dylan Ward, where they on the season opener.
That was an epic performance.
I mean, that's as good as it gets. As far as I can remember, from a goaltending standpoint, the Outlaws keeper was fantastic. Shot clock now at 10 for Pannell against Pratson. Rob Pannell on the dead run. Here comes a double from Jeffrey. Pannell eludes them, shovels this one to the crease. They continue to fight for it. This is a shot violation against New York. The Bayhawks are off and running at C.J. Costabile, the former All-American out of Duke. Long stick midfielder, no stranger to creating offense with that cross. Heacock moseys behind the cage and picks up Lyle Thompson. Matt Abbott jogs into position for Chesapeake. Little 2-man offering with Thompson, who gets double teamed and lost the ball.
Fantastic double team, the pinch double.
Osman and Carrigan were there. This is Randall now completing the clear for New York. Ben Randall finds the open man Pannell as we are 5 minutes into the fourth.
It's amazing when you look at the scoring for the Bayhawks. Stanwyck and Heacock have not been their typical productive selves.
Steele had a goal and 5 assists in the win over Dallas. Heacock had the hat trick against the Rattlers in the season opener. Spillane, the rookie from Penn State, delivers. Long range, and it was Amato making the save on Aponte. Nittany Lion to Nittany Lion there, making Coach Tambroni proud. Abbott on the go for the Bayhawks. Slips away from coverage from Scott Corcoran. Nearly 6 minutes into the fourth. It's the Lizards in black by 2. Thompson jitterbugs inside. Multiple head and stick fakes. Not fooling Unterstein. Veteran short stick defender. Going to be inverted here now with Lyle Thompson.
Lyle's looking for the double early.
It comes from Romano. Thompson gets inside and scores. The lightning quick release.
This is an amazing play by Lyle Thompson that shows his understanding of defenses. And I hope we roll this back to you can see Romano will double team him. 15 in black. Watch the way Thompson handles this. The double, 15 in black will double. And then watch. He thinks it's okay, so he goes back. He turns his back, which opens the door, puts the green light on. If Romano's going to go back, he can't turn his head on the ball carrier, or someone else then has to go. And you see how upset Austin Cowd is at the defense. It really doesn't make sense to play defense like that. You can't turn your back on a ball carrier like that.
Nope.
You either double and stay on it or retreat while seeing what's going on, head on a swivel.
Not one who's as silky as that. Lyle Thompson making no mistake, his 4th goal. He has 2 4-goal games this season. The Bayhawks are within 1, nearly halfway through the 4th. Mariano picks up Bomberry. Brendan Bomberry, 23-year-old from Ontario, Canada. This is Watkinson hammering his way in. Thompson again. Elusive as always. Here comes Osman, forcing Thompson away. Bomberry inside looking for the quick stick of Heacock. That one failed to convert. It'll stay Chesapeake ball. The officials will give the Bayhawks a new 60-second shot clock.
It's a big penalty defensively.
Stanwyck against Randall. Randall, whose collegiate career began at Stony Brook before moving on to Ohio State and a lot of Big Ten accolades. Watkinson breezing in against Romano, turns the corner. The help came from Begley. Stanwyck now at the top, rolls inside the 2-point arc. Flashing the pass, Bombery fires to tie it up.
The careless incidental foul late in the shot clock against New York comes back to haunt them. Chesapeake earns the restart. The defense starts to tire, and good things happen for Brendan Bombery.
Bombery and the Bayhawks back to 13 all. Stan by Warrior. Under the lights are we at Stewart Stadium in Hempstead, New York. Beautiful Saturday night for lacrosse, and the Lizards and Bayhawks renewing and rekindling their storied rivalry. And another fantastic game here in the fourth. Joe Beninati, Quint Kesnick tipping a cap to all the men and women in our technical crew for their efforts day and night. Down the stretch we go, halfway through the fourth quarter. Chesapeake, just one game so far this season, a win at Dallas. They're idle next week, and then they come to start their home portion of the 2019 schedule at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis. Q, that's where the All-Star festivities will be in late July.
July 27th. You can get your tickets, MajorLeagueLacrosse.com. And what you love about that event, the quality of lacrosse, but the fan experience comes first. There'll be live music, great food, interaction with the players. It's really what separates this product. It's about the fans.
On the run, steals Stanwyck's bouncer, hits pay dirt. 14-13 Bayhawks.
Second half's been a seesaw game of runs. Bayhawks led by 2, 11-9. Lizards hit them with a 4-goal run. And now Chesapeake on a run by themselves. Look at what, you know, there's some players, Joe, that when they have the kind of ball time that Lyle has, you kind of say to yourself, come on, move the ball. So the ball dies in your stick. The ball never dies in his stick. Even when he carries it for a long time, good things always happen. It's a rare trait, I will tell you.
He has an uncanny ability to wait till the very end and then make the most slippery passes you've ever seen, as Massa wins an important face-off for Chesapeake. Bayhawks 3 unanswered points, a 14-13 lead with 6:40 to go in the fourth.
Here he is. His fitness is unquestioned. As I said earlier, I checked into our hotel with him. We were online together, and he's as fit as it gets. He looks like he could run a 10K in sprint speed.
Matt Abbott from the top, flexing this one out for Stanwyck. Ryan Tucker rolling back in against Spring and Osman. Heacock moves it for a Thompson rocket. That one's roasted past count.
Takeover artist. Scored goal number 12, assisted on goal 14, and now scores the 15th goal of this contest. A wicked wrister, right-handed, low to high, almost like a golf shot into your living room. If you're enjoying watching Lyle Thompson, text a friend, tweet it out right now, because we got a fantastic 6 minutes to go.
The strength in the wrist and forearms is exceptional from Lyle Thompson, his 5th on the night. Lizards get control of the ensuing face-off. Pennell looking to answer. Rob Pennell bounces this one wide of Nico Amato. The Lizards have the backup.
Who's got a better efficiency of movement than Lyle Thompson?
It's an effortless gait. He's so smooth, syrupy.
Honed by hours of playing pickup with his brothers. Told kids in my camp, hey, this summer, less TV, more pickup. Less Fortnite, more wall ball.
Darn right. Ray off the roll dodge, but good luck in having that happen.
Tomorrow's Father's Day. Go out and have a catch with your dad. Have a catch on Father's Day.
Sounds good. Bounce shot here. Amato turns away his opposite. Number 13, Spillane, the rookie, denied again. Costabile fenced in at midfield. There's a timeout called by Chesapeake.
That is a brilliant timeout because C.J. Costabile was in the Amazon River about to be eaten by a bunch of piranhas.
Head coach Dave Cottle, former head coach collegiately at Loyola and at the University of Maryland for a long, long time.
The middle of the field is a dark and terrifying place when you throw a lazy outlet pass to a long pole. Cottle was there to bail Costabile out. And our thoughts are with the entire Cottle family. Dave lost his mom about 2 weeks ago. He was not in Dallas for their home opener. It's really one of the few games he's ever missed as a head coach, whether it's at Loyola, Maryland, Severn High School, and of course with the Bayhawks. So our thoughts are with the Cottle family as they deal with the passing of Dave's mom.
Condolences and deepest sympathies too to the Bolin family, Q. Pat Bolin, the owner, founder of the Denver Outlaws since 2006, of course, ownership group of the Denver Broncos in the NFL, passing away Thursday night.
A great owner for this league and did wonderful things out in Denver. And I hope on the July 4th game when they get 30,000 people, I hope they do something special.
They will.
I spoke to Jake Steinfeld on Thursday night, the founder of this league, and he couldn't have said more. He didn't have more praise for Pat and that organization and what they did for lacrosse out in the Mile High City. And you know that energy is kind of carried over into the college game and what the Pioneers have done, and now Utah and California's next, and a lot of that has to do with Mr. Bolin.
Pat Bolin's motto, he said, I want to be number one in everything. Three-time Major League Lacrosse champs with the Outlaws, who really have the best winning percentage ever in Major League Lacrosse history since they jumped in that expansion year of 06.
That July 4th game is, like, if you had 10 events in your lacrosse year you wanted to go to, that would have to be one of them.
We've been lucky enough to share in a bunch of them, a whole lot of fun. This game has been terrific down the stretch. Adding to the totals, it's Mariano on the move as the Bayhawks stretch their lead.
All right, what happens when coaches call timeouts? Joe, what happens? What do? They design set plays. Abbott left-handed, Stanwyck, Mariano set the original pick for Abbott. He turns and cuts down the seam, and he's created leverage. Watch. Pass, pick down, cut from the original. Mariano has set the original pick for the ball carrier. That's great coaching and wonderful execution.
Another hat trick for Mariano, and in the blink of an eye, a 5-goal run unanswered for the Bayhawks has made this a 3-goal lead with a little less than 5 minutes remaining for black jerseyed New York to get up off the mat.
So as a player, when your opponent calls timeout in any settled situation, always ready for the set play, the set piece.
Communication so important on defense. Crowley gets into the alley. Nice pass inside. Galasso! He scores!
Nicky Galasso's a keeper. Crowley draws the eyes of the defense. Galasso just moving. He moves upfield, he plants, and he cuts back down towards the post, and he's kind of lost in the wash. Like my socks.
Galasso, the youngest of 5 boys in the family. 27-year-old, cashes in for the 4th time this season. He has tallies in all 3 games for the Lizards. New York down by 2 at the moment. Pasculgian needs to get this draw if you're pulling for the Lizards. He and Massa waging battled throughout the night. Paskoljian comes out of there, still fighting for it. Acrobatically on his side, Paskoljian had it for a moment, then Massa stripped. And Massa runs for cover as he's walloped.
Going at it, huh?
Toe-to-toe, punch, counter-punch. What else would you expect between Bayhawks and Lizards?
Ground ball, a professional level ground ball. You know you're gonna pay the price. Paskoljian nearly taking the head off of Massa.
Those two guys have battled throughout. A lot of energy expended. Paskoljian's helped his team on the scoreboard. So too has Massa with goals tonight.
Paskoljian's a great example of a player. You think about improvement. Everyone's so focused on improving when you're 12, 13, 14, so you can get recruited and play college lacrosse. Paskoljian's an example of a guy that's been continual, and that's the sign of greatness. He's continued to improve after college as a guy in his young 20s.
B.J. O'Hara challenged him this week at practice, made sure there were 3 face-off guys on the field. Andrew, Jack, and Rack were also trying to earn the face-off roles tonight. Paskoljian obviously winning the battle and performing admirably in this effort. But the Lizards need 2 points to tie with a little more than 4 minutes to operate. If you're just tuning in, New York had a 5-4 advantage after 1. We were level at 9 through the half. Lizards on top by 1 heading to the 4th, but that 5-goal spree for Chesapeake, fueled by Lyle Thompson, has given them a little bit of a cushion to work with.
Largest spread in this game has been 3 goals. 5-2 at one point, New York led. So it's been close throughout. My question is, can New York win the 4th quarter? They did not in their home opener against Denver, and then in front of 5,000 fans in Quincy, Mass. And the governor, it was the Cannons and Mark Cockerton getting that victory.
Will the governor be there a week from today? Because the Lizards are going to try to avenge that loss again in Quincy at Veterans Memorial Field.
I left that trip frozen and with an accent.
This is a summer sport, right? Heacock with a sizzler. Big ricochet off the frame to midfield. Bernhardt takes it on the run. Gets creamed on the sideline. There's a flag down. Begley hit him hard. Bayhawks soon to go extra man. 3:35 in the 4th right now. Major League Lacrosse on ESPN+. Abbott in no hurry now.
They got the reset, and so now they're just killing time. Question now is, what do you do if you're in New York? Do you press out?
Uh-oh, now they're going to be down 2. Another set of flags hits the turf on Romano.
Guess who has the ball?
Matt Abbott, Mr. Keep Away.
Who would you want with it?
Matt apparently stepped on the sideline there. The whistle comes.
Put the ball on his chest.
That too. That too. So this is likely to be 6-on-4.
Technical foul, 63 black, push. Personal foul, 15 black, slash. So we got 2 men for 30 seconds, 1 for the remaining 30 seconds. Both fouls are releasable.
It's detrimental to winning, but it's not catastrophic.
Ow.
Clip that video, and you can put it in the visual Webster's dictionary of what a slash is.
On the extra man, Bayhawks will operate here. Watkinson behind the cage.
Next points are just gigantic.
Heacock sets his feet. Move it quickly on that set piece to the inside. It was blocked. Watkinson there protecting the ground ball. Stanwyck on the end line. Goosed it to Thompson. 6-on-4 for Chesapeake on extra man. Tucker. Move it around the horn for Heacock. Collins stares over the Lizards' defense. Mariano straight away. New York gets 1 guy back. Thompson takes it off the carpet. 6 on 5 now with 2:20 to go in the fourth. A must defensive stop here for the Lizards. Heacock skip for Thompson. Randall steps out there looking for the takeaway. Shot clock at 3. Move it around quickly. Mariano's bid was partially blocked. It rolls out of bounds. The Lizards do the job at the defensive end. Count wasting no time. Heaves it high. Ball is loose. And Costabile comes up with it for Chesapeake.
Careless.
CJ Costabile brings it across the midline, finds Thompson. 100 seconds left in the game.
And that cost you a full minute, that turnover. You just can't win with those type of plays. When you think about negative plays, turnovers, losing face-offs, bad shots, penalties, failed clears.
Lyle Thompson, Nick Mariano with the last 2 tallies on the board for Chesapeake. That's the difference between themselves and the Lizards with 1:15 to play. And Ryan Tucker just draining time off the game clock.
Now you're communicating, if you're Chesapeake, how are you going to handle this? Are you going to go to the goal here? And then what are you doing defensively? The guys in white. What do you got to do? You got to defend the 2-point shot. It's what you have to do.
Shot clock at 8. Sharp angle. Count made the save there on Heacock.
Now you want to get back and defend the 2.
Austin Count running there with Lyle Thompson. Thompson riding him all the way to the midfield line and forcing him to the sideline. The timeout called by B.J. O'Hara. Austin Count and his Lizards defense coming to the rescue there. Now with 46 seconds left, trying to procure those tying points.
You got a 2-point play, Coach O'Hara?
He said he needed more from his offensive midfield this time around. He was giving Sessa and Spillane a spark, a Ponte, trying to ignite the offense for the Lizards, which is often in the capable hands of Rob Pennell, who has a hat trick tonight.
Are you thinking 2 here, Joe, or do you think there's enough time to get 1 and then try to win a face-off and get a second?
If it's me, I'm going to take the 2 now. Although Pasculgian,
I mean, one's not bad. You leave yourself 20 seconds, you can still. 2 is obviously a tie.
Pasculgian and Massa have been terrific battling each other at the X.
Now, what they've shown in these scenarios, and I've seen this New York team play twice, is they'll get the ball. What they've shown in so far this year is they get the ball behind to Pennell, and Matthews is the main target inside.
If you're thinking 2, the Lizards only had 5 of them in the regular season last year. Only Florida with less. Chesapeake, on the other hand, led Major League Lacrosse with 11 2-point tallies a season ago.
Ball's got to be in Rob Pennell's cross. Matthews has been a relative non-factor tonight. He's more of a mid-range guy. I don't think they have a bona fide 2-point shooter.
Sommerfeld, Galasso, Crowley, Ray, Pennell, and Matthews. 6 on the field in black for the Lizards with 45 seconds to go. On the wing, Sommerfeld, 9 in the black. Galasso, they play a little gamesmanship here for the long stick midfielder. Spring fires for 2. Over top of the goal. That one sent high by Alex Spring. Pennell dished it inside. It's just away. 23 seconds left in this game. Crowley can't keep it in. The ball belongs to the Bayhawks with a 2-point lead. Isaiah Davis-Allen.
You're in full
Long
court press.
pass
Full court
against
press.
the 10-man ride. That was a pass, so it's a turnover. Lizards get it back with 13 seconds. Count, who already has 1 full field assist tonight, plays it to the midline. 6 seconds left. Here's a long 2. Flag down by Amato. He'll run to the corner. He can run all the way back to Annapolis. Chesapeake banks a 16-14 win.
Tell you, Lyle Thompson took this game over in the second half, Joe. When you look at his numbers, 9-9 tie at halftime, and then he was the game in the second half. I got him for 4 second-half goals.
Big night for Lyle. We hope to catch up with him on the other side of the break. Nico Amato and the Bayhawks take down the Lizards on the road. 16-14 your final. We'll be back in a moment.